I go more like that, does that help you? Does that mean I'm more likely to be in?
You've said before in interviews that you always find them quite awkward because the elephant in the room is that there is a product of some kind to be sold to the public, whether it's a DVD, a film, or in this case, a book.
Yeah.
Are you feeling awkward now?
I mean, I often feel awkward in life, so interviews have become a subset of my existence. It would be sociopathic to it to be a regular thing for you to do, an interview. I always feel instantly that this is a strange dynamic. I should be asking how you are, how's your journey, are you all right? The one-sidedness of it seems against every part of one's upbringing. I mean, in conversation, you would have interrupted me by now. You've gone, what are you talking about? You're going on.
Maybe I will, hang on.
Yeah, I hope you do.
A lot of the roles that you've found in comedy have been playing geeks. So Nathan Barley, IT Crowd, now Gadget Man as well. Why do you think it's happened that way for you?
You know, I suppose there's an element of I'm unlikely to be cast as a Robert Redford type, and there's an overlap between my lack of social presence and being geeky in some way. And the audience slightly decides who you are, you know, what you're able to play.
So now does that restrict you a little bit?
No, I mean, I'm lucky to have acted at all given my limited range, and I mainly wanted to be a writer, and I've been able to do that, and I'm grateful to do that. And yeah, I don't sit here thinking, God, I wish I could be Macbeth, but they just won't let me. I feel, wow, I was able to be in a show that Graham Linehan wrote. That's terrific.
At Cambridge, you weren't the same strong actor in Footlights that Robert Webb or David Mitchell were, but you've been able to channel some of maybe a more natural shyness into the kind of geeky roles. Has that happened at all?
I performed with John Oliver a lot at university, and he was a very strong comic performer, and I was always sort of happier doing the sound for the shows, and, you know, mini discs were coming in there, and it was pretty exciting times.
You were like the roadie?
I preferred that, and I liked writing, but I was not someone who was ever in a play, you know. I would never want to just perform.
When you went to Cambridge,
yeah,
you went to study law.
Mm-hmm.
You were set to be a lawyer. What were you thinking?
It became apparent relatively early that that wasn't quite the thing I was going to display the most interest in. You know, I was very influenced by Ironside as an adolescent, and I thought that would be the dream, and it broke. It broke when I was 18, and in some ways I've never recovered.
You're a similar age to me, so you remember the time before the internet.
Yeah.
Do you find it strange now when you meet people who haven't known the time before the internet?
I tend not to meet people, really. I'm more interested in how angry older people are about what they feel they're missing out on. That I find that funny. How obsessed middle-aged people are with Tinder and things like that, as if they're going, well, if only I had it, would have cleaned up. And you thought, I don't really know that would have happened.
So in the book Ayoade on Ayoade, it sounds like it's going to be some kind of autobiography with insights into the real you.
There's a sort of journalist character who's me, and a film director who's me.
How much of the real Richard Ayoade is in this book?
It's a joke book about film. It bears as much relationship to me as probably being John Malkovich does to John Malkovich.
But just when you're about to meet Richard Ayoade, you say, to many he's a tallish, unfit man who isn't funny. From a failed and short-lived career as a stand-up, to his failed and short-lived career as a sitcom actor, to his failing career as a film writer-director, he disappoints with unparalleled consistency.
Because I have directed a couple of films, and because I had the experience of going through a number of interviews and things, what occurs to you is, well, what's the worst thing I could say in this situation? What would be the most outrageous? And you never say it, but you start to think, what could I do with a kind of comic version of this situation? The interview format is often funny. That dynamic, that kind of hostility and passive aggressiveness or leading questions or answers just seem like a good format for a book. Your own name can become funny, Especially if you see it in print, it's so vowel-laden, my name, that there's something funny about constantly seeing the word Ayoade. I don't know, to me it's funny and very pompous to write about yourself as an adult. You know, you forgive a child writing their own name in the margins, but if you saw a 40-year-old man writing their own name down repeatedly, you'd go, there's something very strange about that.
I'm going to surprise you with one book now.
Yeah.
So this is a book I know you've read in the past.
Oh, it's a great book. Burt Reynolds, My Life.
Yeah, I just want to compare this to your
Okay.
book, which is a kind of autobiography. This is full of, you know, anecdotes about A-list Hollywood stars. Could your book have not been a bit more like Burt Reynolds' book?
It could not have been more like Burt Reynolds' book, including his somewhat graphic account of losing his virginity to an older woman.
Oh, you remember that bit?
I remember the fluidity of the prose, and also a race that he wins. And there's something where he says, that's Burt now calling in, complaining.
Well, you can have Burt if you...
Oh, thank you very much. Well, this will be my third copy, but it is it's a great piece of work. And also, yes, he did his chat show, and I like autobiographies where there's a chapter which starts with, I was back,